Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the Cold Fusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community.
Hello and welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition. It is November 21st, 2023, episode 207. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm super glad to be here with you, and I'm joined by the wonderful Mr. Daniel Garcia. How are you, Daniel?
You know, Eric, if I was any better, I would be you, my friend. I am doing great.
That is great to hear. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our U.S. friends.
Yes.
And to all of you, but the people who celebrate it. How about that?
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.
One of the things we are super thankful for is our sponsor, Orta Solutions.
Absolutely. So there are, of course, the biggest of Cold Box, Command Box, Forge Box, Test Box, all your favorite boxes. And if you want to say thank you back to Orta Solutions, we would love that. You can buy tickets to Into the Box 2024 in Washington, D.C. It's going to be on May 2024 in Washington, D.C.
It is May 15th through 17th.
15th through 17th. Thanks, Eric. See, Eric and I are a great team. We complete each other's
sentences.
Sandwiches.
You fed that to me too.
Okay. You can like and subscribe to our videos on YouTube. You can help Ortus reach for the stars, and Star and Fork are repos. You can subscribe to our podcasts wherever fine podcasts are sold or available. You can sign up for a free or paid CFcast account, and we're releasing new content regularly, and we have this little special thing about that we're going to talk about a little bit later. You can buy some merch from the Box Life store. You can buy our books, 102 Cold Box HMV Quick Tips and Tricks, and we have it on Amazon as well as learn modern Cold Fusion CFML in 100 plus minutes. I always like that title. It says 100 plus minutes, so it's like 100 is like the minimum, but the plus, they don't really say like the maximum it would take.
As long as it takes you, yep. We also have some exciting announcements about the Box Life store for this holiday season, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we also want to say thank you to our Patreons, our flabbergastingly awesome Patreons. That is the word of the day. Great surprise. So we have 42 Patreons. You can see a list of all of them at patreon.com/ortasolutions, and we'll tell you more about how you can join at the end of the show. Now, on to some news and announcements. First up, there have been some vulnerabilities announced for Adobe engines and some patches that have come out, specifically around WDDX, which is Web Distributed Data Exchange. You gotta love the acronym with the X. If you use WDDX, this is worth taking a look at, not only because you should be patching your Cold Fusion servers, but you also might be bit by some of the changes they made, as we have seen over in the CFML Slack. So we have that in the show notes. Again, this will go through what the vulnerability is, and again, there are patches out for Adobe engines that you should be applying that are already live on ForgeBox if you use ForgeBox to manage your CFML servers.
Absolutely. I want to say, hey, a big shout out in the chat to John Barrett, Mr. Hawaii out there. I think you're going to be hanging with John on Friday, right, Eric?
That's right.
Awesome. Too bad they can't fly you out there. You got to work on that, John. You get a lot more presenters if you'll just get them out there somehow. And David, our buddy David down in South America. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Okay, so our Ortus end of the year sale is finally here. I need an applause. Do you have an applause? Never mind. We got to get some sound effects, Eric. Maybe for next year.
There you go.
But yeah, we got lots of things are on sale. We've got Command Box Pro, 20% off. The Redis Lucy extension, V3, 20% off your first purchase. Couchbase, 20% off. Ortus, 20% off. Oh, I'm sorry, the Ortus PDF extension. Ortus Services and Consulting, 20% off. Everything's 20% off. If you got CFcast and want to get a subscription, can you guess how much the percentage discount is, Eric?
15%.
No, sir. You have not been paying attention. 20% off. You should get a subscription. How does that work? You wrote the thing. Do you still subscribe or?
Not quite. Not quite. I have God access, if you will. So
Yeah, me too. Glad I do because I learn a lot, especially when I first started with Ortus. But yeah, so check all that out. The link's in the chat and go and get 20% off of like almost everything.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if there are any discounts for it, but the Box Life store has great Ortus merch. And I know all of you want this, but you're like, yeah, I have a hard time buying it. Now, let me tell you something. No one is going to buy you this as a Christmas present or a Hanukkah present or whatever you celebrate present because they have no idea what Ortus is. So what you need to do is go browse it, find what you like, and send a link to that person and say, I would like this, please and thank you. And then you can have some nice Ortus swag for your birthday. I should say merch. It's not stuff we all get. It's merch.
It is merch. Although I think my favorite, I don't know, I bought a few shirts a while ago. I think my favorite one right now is the Command Box server is up.
Absolutely.
How easy it is. And every time I wear it, Brad's like, aw.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into some updates and releases.
Okay, we've got Adobe November updates, security fixes. For 2023, update 6. And for 2021, it's update 12. But remember, previous versions are no longer receiving security updates. So if you have not updated, you should look at updating. Command Box has already been updated. Thank you to Brad and John Clausen for doing that. We've got some links for security updates. We can post that in the chat, some community stuff. There is a WDDX release issues that some customers were seeing, and we've got a blog article from Charlie that talks about that. So we'll get that in the chat as soon as Eric catches up. Eric, do you do what I do? Like when you talk, I should be like pasting, and instead I'm just like listening to you talk. And then I'm like scrambling to get the links out there.
A little bit.
I'm guilty. Okay, and then in case you missed it, on October 23rd, a few weeks ago, they added Java installers for Java 1709, Java 11021, and for the JDK GRE 8U391. They refreshed the server zip and GUI installers, the lockdown installers, all that stuff. We get the link out there. And if you have any issues with the update, Brian posted a really good blog article talking about something to watch out for. On the new connectors in CF23 update 5 and CF2021 update 11, there are some actions you're going to want to take. You want to normalize the request URIs. You want to block any requests with a ... in the URI path. And you want to block any requests to the CFID. And make sure that's case insensitive in case you're not running on Windows and use Linux like Eric does.
Like sane people. All right. Thank you for that. So yeah, some Adobe updates for you. Again, if you're using Command Box to manage this, guess what? The next time you start with your semantic version range, including bug fixes, you're already updated.
Woohoo! Command Box rocks.
Speaking of awesome features that you could get just with the semantic version range, ColdBox 7.2 is released.
Yay.
This is bringing a lot with stability, tons of new features as well. ColdBox has 10 new features, 6 improvements, and some bug fixes. Logbox has 3 of themselves. Wirebox has a new feature, and even Cachebox has an improvement. So lots to go there to give you the high level. We have a schema info helper, scheduled task groups, lots of updates to the scheduled tasks, including some date time helper updates. This one's a favorite of mine. If you've ever used aspect-oriented programming, AOP with Wirebox, it will auto turn on now as soon as you use it, which is nice for any of the people that have tried to use it and have wondered why it doesn't work, only to realize they forgot a line in Wirebox.
So that's why I wonder why it doesn't work.
Cachebox and Logbox have some great updates as well, including my favorite in Logbox. You can exclude appenders from a category, which was always kind of you could always say what appenders you wanted, but you had to list all of them or star. Right. And now you can exclude it when you just want to be like, no, please don't send this to Slack or don't email me this. So awesome stuff there. Go ahead and grab it from ForgeBox, ColdBox 7.2.
And it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, 20% off.
20% off. I love it. All right, let's talk about some webinars, meetups, and workshops. In case you missed it, the Mid-Michigan Cold Fusion user group had how to containerize CFML apps for the cloud with Nick. I should have practiced his name before. Nope, it's not coming. Nick K. I am so sorry, Nick.
Wiatkowski?
That might be it. I would do
I
much
like
worse.
how you're polite and say, I'm never going to try it. I'm just like, Wiatkowski.
Nick K. Check out the link for how you his actual last name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Okay, so coming up, we alluded to this already, but this Friday in Hawaii, if you're there, or if you just want to log in online, that's cool too. Our own Eric Peterson, the guy sitting over there. I think you're over there when I point.
Nope. Other way.
Other way? Oh, weird.
Yep.
Is going to be presenting on Inertia JS and Cold Fusion. And what is Inertia JS?
I like to think of Inertia JS as replacing your Vue setup with one of the JavaScript front-end frameworks like Vue or React. So instead of just pure Cold Fusion views, all your views will be handled in JavaScript. And that lets you get all the niceties of using the JavaScript framework, but on the back end, all your stuff is still managed in Cold Fusion, all your routes. You're not building an API and handling cores and JWTs and all that stuff. It's a lot simpler. So, in fact, CFCast is an Inertia website. So, if you've ever been going around there, you've been using Inertia.
And you mean the 20% off CFCast website is Inertia?
The 20% off annual subscription to CFCast website is Inertia, yes.
That is awesome. And as always, if you have any questions about the Hawaii Cold Fusion Meetup group, go see John Barrett. He likes to hang out in the chat. He hangs out in the CFML Slacks, and the guys around. Just say hi.
So I believe that's at, is it noon Hawaii time? I know what time it is for me. I'm not sure.
I only go by Chicago time, so you have to translate it.
We'll have John post that in the chat. Yep, 12 noon Hawaii. That would be 2 Pacific, 3 Mountain, 4 Cornfield Standard Time, and 5 Eastern.
Oh, man. I'm going to let that one go because it's Thanksgiving, Eric.
It is.
It is. I am not thankful for your Midwest jokery. I am thankful for you, my friend. So you get a pass this time.
This time. All right. Also coming up, we have some Cold Fusion security training with the one and only Pete Freitag. This is Writing Secure CFML. It is an online workshop on December 12th and December 13th. It's 3 hours in the middle of the day, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. You can find more information on Pete's website, but it is well worth the money to get Pete's security training.
Absolutely. I like Pete a lot.
Also,
he's such a nice guy and scary guy. And it's like kind of a dichotomy.
He's not scary, but he talks about scary things. Also, the class will be recorded. So if you cannot fully attend all of it, you can still purchase a ticket and have access to the recording afterwards. So
awesome.
Don't let that stop you.
Yep. He is not a scary guy. He just talks about scary things. And whenever I go to conferences, I never miss his sessions.
Yeah. He shows you all the scary things about your code, but luckily also how to fix it.
True that. So we appreciate you, Pete. Thanksgiving week, #.
All right. Okay. Hey, we have some exciting CFCast content announcements on the 20% off annual subscription CFCast website.
I'm sorry, did you say it's 20% off, Eric?
Yes, and powered by Inertia. we really need to stop this, don't we?
Well, this is what we get when we wing it, I guess. So yeah, we have some recent releases. Into the Box 2023 videos are now available for all paid subscriptions. It's no longer exclusive to the people that attended, but for anybody. If you go to the link that Eric will post, or he did, go check it out. So all the great content from last May is available for you. And you know what? You've got some time this week, right? It's Thanksgiving. Nothing else going on. On Friday, when you're snoozing from the Thanksgiving feast and are done watching Eric in Hawaii, go and check out CFCast. See some of the videos. And coming soon, Mastering CBWire version 3 from our own Grant Copley. I know a lot of people were very excited about CBWire. And in fact, we're at the CF Summit. There are several people that come up to me just raving about Grant and CB Wire, raving in a good way. Lots of nice things they said. So looking forward to that.
I think CB Wire is super cool, and it actually is a great comparison to Inertia. So if you go watch his series, watch ours, it's kind of two sides of the same coin. CB Wire is let's stuff everything into CFML, including all the JavaScripty stuff, and Inertia is like let's put all the JavaScripty stuff instead of this Cold Fusion stuff. So you can pick which one you like better, but they're both great. Okay, we got some conferences coming up. Into the Box Latam is almost, let's see, 9 days away. 9 days, November 30th at the University of Business in El Salvador. It is a one-day event. I believe it's free for students and very reasonable for professionals. No, 15 for students and 25 for professionals. Very reasonable. If you are anywhere in the area, we hope to see you there. And those also will come to Into the Box at some point. Yes, most of them are in Spanish. That might not assuade some of you. Some are in English. So you'll have to come check that out.
I think you meant the 20% off CFCast. They're coming too.
They are coming there.
Yeah. Oh, I heard that they've got over 150, 160 people signed up.
It is quite the event there. I know a lot of our audience is based in either the United States or over in Europe, but we have a good number of people that come to that. It's a well-attended conference, so we're glad Ordis supports that and sponsors that conference.
Yep, and this was like 2 weeks ago, so they may even be even more closer to being sold out. So not sold out yet, but doing well. Love it. Also, there's an Adobe Cold Fusion India Summit 2023, December 2nd in Bengaluru, India. I hope I pronounced that right. So you can register for free. We'll get the link out there and go check that out.
As mentioned before, Into the Box 2024 is taking place in Washington, D.C., May 15th through 17th. Right now, you can purchase what we're calling blind tickets, which is you haven't seen the speakers yet. You'll get quite the discount for doing that. The call for speakers is open until the end of the month. So you have until November 30th to put it in, and we'll be getting the schedule out in time for Christmas.
I need that. Thanks for the reminder. I have a reminder in my calendar every day to go submit my topics. And then every day I'm like, oops, I'll do it tomorrow. And I keep moving the each day forward.
Snooze.
Pretty much. I'm like, oh.
But we want to have you speaking there. Put your idea in. Something I will encourage is put an idea that you don't have the talk yet, but you're like, that's interesting. I would do a talk like that. I have done that many times, and it's gotten me to actually learn the thing or build the thing. And I think that's a great motivation.
Or you could be like Brad and be like, Brad, we need somebody to present on this. Figure it out. Okay. And Brad just figures it out. As always, thank you for highlighting that to grab my attention. As always, we have more conferences. confs.tech. If you want to go there, it's a huge list of conferences from any language and community. I put that in the chat because I'm not following the rules. I'm a rule breaker today, Eric. I don't know why you put up with me.
We're gonna need to. We have Into the Box in there. I don't see Into the Box Latam in confs.tech. So.
We'll take care of that.
We need to go take care of that. Yeah.
What I mean by that is we'll ping somebody internally to go take care of that.
It's really easy to submit a conference to this site. I think it just turns into a pull request. Like they have it worked out pretty well. So.
Okay.
Confs.tech. How about some blogs, tweets, and videos for the week?
Absolutely. The first one we got is from Julian Hollowell, talking about reading large CSV files with CFML. As you talk about, the spreadsheet CFML library is focused on working with spreadsheets either in binary or XML format, but there's a third format which is often used, and that is CSV. So for a while now, the library has been able to do some things, work with CSV, allowing it to convert to spreadsheets and queries. They don't always work quite as well as they like, especially with large files, but he goes on, talks about how to get it going. And we got the link for that. Or I guess I can, since you're asleep at the wheel.
Wow. Sorry. I was looking through the blog post myself. I love the
Really learned.
spreadsheet CFML library. If
I do
you
too.
haven't used it at one point, you will, because everybody gets asked to do something with comma separated values or spreadsheets or either reading or writing. So and you're going to want to use this library. It is amazing, both
It
Adobe
is.
and Lucy.
Absolutely.
Okay, next, talking about some of the scary stuff we talked about before. This is a walkthrough of a critical variable mass assignment vulnerability in Adobe Cold Fusion. This, to assuage most fears, applies to remote CFC methods. So if you are not using remote CFC methods, you're going to be fine here. But this article goes through how you can change the values of any of the scopes, application, session, not good stuff. So check it out. Make sure you're safe if you're using remote functions. Now, Daniel, it seems that you have created something, and Brad has taken notice. Command box cheat sheet.
Yes, I created that like years ago, like in 2019, before I even knew how to properly use command box. And so, although it has all the basics, I've been thinking about redoing it or at least updating it a bit with all the cool things I've learned. But people still find it and people use it, and I'm glad.
Very nifty. Print it out, put it next to your computer.
Yep. Maybe after my semester ends over the break, I'll try and refresh that. Oop, I should now I'm asleep at the wheel here. Maybe we need the colors to blink when it's our turn, Eric, and maybe that'll get our attention better. So we have show notes we go through and we do these things, and we have nice and color coded so we know when I talk, when Eric talks, and when I talk, Eric posts links. So when he talks, I post links. Only sometimes when we each talk, we each listen, not post anything. So we got to work on that. We used to be a well-oiled machine. What happened? One final blog post from Nolan Eric, our buddy, posted a Cold Fusion Summit 2023 recap. He was at the summit, saw him there, and he goes through every conference he goes to. He kind of does like a recap of what he saw, things that he learned, things like that. And it's always a good read. So go ahead and check that out. It was a really great conference. It really was. Lots of good stories. I won't bore you with some of them, but it was fun. It was a good time.
I'm excited for when they start posting those online, or at least I hope they do, because they did the last conference. But
well, they didn't record them. Yeah, there's thing they can't. They're not allowed to record it for. And this could just be me not understanding the intricacies of Vegas, but there's some like rules that you're not allowed to live record it at the time at the venue. And so last year they just had all the presenters just give their presentation again online, and they recorded those. So
okay, I actually believe this is not that they're not allowed to, but that they have to go through the hotel contracted people, which is more than Adobe wanted to pay.
Yep, and that makes sense. Yep. And so
okay, well, sad I missed that conference then. Next year. Let's talk about finding a job. On getcfmljobs.com, there are over 108 Cold Fusion positions from 65 companies across 45 locations in 5 countries. This week, we have a Cold Fusion developer in Delhi, India, posted on November 15th. You can also look for jobs in the CFML Slack team or the Box Team Slack team as well. How about we go through ForgeBox module?
Yes, I agree. So ForgeBox module of the week is a Logbox logging library, an oldie but a goodie. And quick fun fact, Eric, I think this might have been the first Ortus library I've ever used.
Not uncommon.
Yeah, I had to do logging in a let's just say it's a legacy site years ago, and Logbox was awesome. And I've been loving it ever since. So Logbox, if you don't know, we just released version 7.2.0, which has 4,500 installs in the last 12 months. It's an enterprise CFML logging library designed to give you lots of flexibility, simplicity, and power when logging your apps. It is part of the ColdBox platform suite, but you can use it standalone. That's okay. I did for a long time until I was able to finally use ColdBox. You can do all sorts of appenders. You can log to anything from the file system to databases to all sorts of remote places. Slack, um, Raygun, Sentry, Stashbox.
Stashbox.
Yeah, Cashbox. But check it out.
Also, I'd love to plug, I did a CFCast series, Logbox 101, which will take you through setting this up from scratch in a non-cold box context and then in the cold box context. Writing your own appenders. I think we make a Slack appender or an email appender, one of the two, maybe both. I should have looked that up before I said it. To Slack with a custom appender, because there's already a built-in email appender. Good job, Eric. But anyways, if you are a CSCast subscriber, you can go watch that right now. And if you're not, 20% off annual
What's
memberships.
that you say? 20% off annual membership to CFCast?
We have lost all our viewers by how many times we've tried to turn this joke.
Oh,
So,
man.
you know, I'm going to take an aside here. I do theater, and the rule is once is funny, twice is not funny, 3 is funny, 4 is not, 5 is not, 6 is not, 7 is funny.
What are we up to now?
I have probably passed 7, and we've lost everybody.
Oh,
So.
man. But to be fair, everybody, two things. CFCast is awesome, and CFCast is Eric's brainchild. It was his baby. It was conceived and nurtured and sprung forth from his brain.
Wow. got a little interesting there.
Well, I'm saying people don't know that CFCast was your baby.
That is true. I brought it to Ortis and convinced Luis to give me a chance building it. So,
to be fair, I don't think you had to convince Luis all that hard. Luis is like, "That's a great idea. When can I have it?" You're like, "Oh,
yeah." I had to convince Jorge to let me do it.
Well,
all right. Well, let's talk about the VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week. We are covering another oldie, Docker. Mostly because this last time we covered it was 2019, and it has gotten a lot of updates since then. So what do you get from the Docker extension? You get IntelliSense, where when you're writing both your Docker files and your Docker Compose files, it will help complete things for you. So nice when I get into Docker files once every, couple years. And it's nice not to have to relearn everything. It's helping me out. It will give you that same IntelliSense with the Compose files. It also gives you a nice panel, if you like the panels, where you can start and stop containers. It will list all of your Docker containers, or the one that I prefer is it will list the Compose containers for the current project. So you can see, oh yeah, I forgot to start my Elasticsearch server for the umpteenth time.
yeah.
Not that that's happened to me. So there's an Explorer where you can explore different images as well. Right-click menu, which will give you all the commands that you would normally run in a terminal. So some great stuff there from the Docker extension for VS Code.
Nice. Eric, I got to say, I don't know Docker very well. I think maybe 2024 is the year I learn it.
Nice. That's a good goal. Also an ambitious goal. But you just became AWS certified a few months, like a month ago. So you're on the self-improvement train. You got this.
You know who else became AWS certified? David in the chat, David Bellinger.
Woo.
In fact, he's even more certified than me because he got certified about 12 hours before I did. Maybe 15 hours before I did.
You're both certified, certifiably insane.
Yeah, but it was fun, and we had a nice little group chat and a study group, and yeah, it was good.
We'll have to do it again, and this time I'll actually attend.
You weren't the only one that was busy with life and client work and other stuff.
Yeah. Well, we have reached the end of our show today, and that means it's time to thank all of our Patreon supporters.
Absolutely. These individuals are personally supporting our open source initiatives to ensure great toolings like CommandBox, ForageBox, CodeBox, ContentBox, TestBox, and other boxes getting development and stuff that they need. So you can always support us on our Patreon here. We'll get the link there. And don't forget, we have annual memberships. Pay for the year and save 10%. Now, I know it's not as good as 20% on CFCast and every other Ortus product, but still 10% is great for businesses by everybody. And if you want to do a bronze package, You get a ForgeBox Pro and CFCast subscription as a perk. So you don't need that 20% off CFCast, but it's cool for everyone else. All Patreon supporters have a profile badge on the community website. They have their own private forum access on the community website, and they have their own private channel on the Box Team Slack. And if you're not on the Box Team Slack, why not? Why aren't you? As always, go to community.ordersolutions.com. And thank you.
And we love to take this time at the end to thank our top Patreons, our top flabbergastingly awesome. The word is flabbergasting, but I don't know if that's actually an adjective, so I keep making it a adverb.
Flabbergasting. I was trying to think of a Thanksgiving one too, like something with being grateful, and I was like, gratuitous. No, that's not going to work.
No.
Our gratuitous Patreon, top Patreons.
So you're flabbergastingly amazing. Our top Patreons, thank you to John Wilson with Synaptrix, Tomorrow's Guide, Jordan Clark, Gary Knight, Giancarlo Gomez, David Bellinger, Dan Card, James Moberg and Jeffrey McGee with Sunstar Media, Dean Monder, Kevin Wright, Doug Kane, Nolan Irk, and Abdul Raheen. There are many more Patreons, and you can see an updated list at ordersolutions.com/about-us/sponsors. Don't forget these awesome Ortus deals, and if you want Ortus merch, you got to tell the person. They don't know that you want it.
Just do it, or just buy it for yourself.
That's true. And then you can wrap it and say, just put this under the tree with a sticker from you.
Yeah, if you got kids, it's a perfect gift for the kids to give you.
There you go.
Right?
Well, thank you, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates. We'll catch you in a few weeks.
Take care.
Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.